Habari Gani, what's the news? Today's story is about Mansa Musa. This is day 2 of Kwanzaa Chagulia, meaning self-determination. The Empire of Mali was at its peak from about 1200 CE through the end of the 1400s. This kingdom had a great start under the wise direction of Sundiata, the Lion King. His son, Wali, also ruled wisely. Mansa Musa, Sundiata's grandson, continued the family tradition of wise rulers. Under Mansa Musa, the Mali Empire doubled in size, but Mansa Musa accomplished much more than simple expansion. He put Mali on the map. Under Mansa Musa, the empire was broken into provinces, each ruled by a governor. Each village had a mayor, and most villages followed the traditional religions of Africa. The people believed in many gods, in witch doctors, and in magic charms. Most village people could not read or write. They received education and training by word of mouth or orally. They were very bright and creative people. They worked hard. They were not poor. The common people were given some luxury goods. Goods were given to the elders and distributed as they saw fit. Mansa Musa was a great believer in spreading wealth around. Let me get into that in just a minute. Hold up. The kingdom of Mali was very rich. The army guarded the gold mines. It also guarded the section of the Trans-Sahara trade route that passed by Mali. Legend says that there were usually 90,000 warriors on foot and 10,000 warriors on camels, and a few of Arabian horses that worked together to keep the trade route safe for travel. Traders always stopped at Mali. They knew they would find safety, culture, and richly rewarding trade. Like his grandfather Sundiata, Mansa Musa ruled for 25 years. He continued the tradition of religious freedom in Mali, meaning anyone could practice any religion they wanted to. Mansa Musa himself was a devout Muslim. He worshipped one God, Allah. It was Mansa Musa who actually ordered an impressive university to be built at Timbuktu. He wanted scholars to come to Mali, which they eventually did. Now, again, I'm going to say, he continued the tradition of religious freedom in Mali, meaning that anyone can practice any religion that they wanted to. This is to say that really there is no such thing as religion, but there has always been spirituality. Religion, there's people that will say religion was made by man and it was made to divide us all. Yes, it was made to divide us in a sense to where they put us all in different categories because of the way that we worship, the way that we honored ourselves, our ancestors, or God, or anything that was spiritual. Religion is nothing but spirituality, just divided in all different parts. When you put every religion together, in every religion they speak of always loving one another and treating each other how you would like to be treated. It's always teaching something about love in each religion. And so we're all reaching for that same light, that same thing. It's just called something different in different parts of the world. And the way that we do things is different because it's in different parts of the world. But if we was to come together as one whole unit, it would be so much even more powerful. And it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter about which religion you are, because all of it works. That's that whole message right there. And he allowed his people to have religious freedom, although he was Muslim and he worshiped one God. Okay. The Muslim scholars who came to Mali were somewhat startled at the appearance of the people who called themselves Muslims. The climate was very hot. Rather than being heavily veiled in black garments, the women were unveiled and wore cool, colorful clothing. This was not the look to which they were accustomed, but Mansa Musa was such a good host and such a devout Muslim that the scholars who came to the kingdom brought with them not only learning but also understanding. Having never left Mali, Mansa Musa really did not know that the appearance of his people was anything out of the ordinary in the Muslim world. Mansa Musa did things you would expect a very rich king to do. When he left his palace, 300 guards and his special musicians who played music wherever they went always accompanied him. His people would gather along the road and chant, "Hail Mansa Musa, King of Mali." I have to do this fast because I only got 10 minutes. Since things were going so well at home, Mansa Musa decided now was the time to see the holy city Mecca. Muslim law requires that all the faithful visit Mecca at least once. With a huge number of guards and attendants, along with camels carrying comforts, luxury, and bags full of gold nuggets, Mansa Musa set out across the desert toward Mecca. Along the way, everywhere he went, he freely gave away gold. You can imagine the excitement he generated as he traveled from one oasis to the next. His caravan stopped in Cairo, Egypt. Word of his incredible wealth spread quickly throughout the city. Mansa Musa was amazed at how expensive things were. They were expensive because merchants increased their normal prices. Mansa Musa did not care. Even though he had given away so much gold on the trip to Cairo, he had bags full left to spend. And spend he did. Mansa Musa left so much gold behind him in Cairo that it was rumored it took 12 years for prices in Egypt to get back to normal. This is probably an urban legend, but certainly it took a little time for things to get back to normal. He distributed so much gold on his way to Mecca that he had to borrow money for his return trip home. Oh my God. Everyone with money was eager to be of service to such a wealthy man. True to his nature, Mansa Musa repaid the loans most generously. His journey took about a year. He traveled around 3,000 miles by camel. No one attempted to take over his kingdom while he was gone. Mansa Musa was a very smart man. To reduce the likelihood of a takeover, he had brought with him on his trip most of the powerful people in his kingdom. He left the army in charge. They did a great job. His people were impressed. They thought it was amazing that he was willing to make such a long trip with so many dangers just to see a faraway holy place. However, his trip had other results. Scholars poured into Timbuktu, making it the most prestigious university in the land. Trade became even more brisk and making Mali even richer. Mansa Musa literally put Mali on the map, both in European and Muslim maps. Now, this story is about self-determination. He was determined to get to Mecca because that was his holy faithfulness that they had to do as a Muslim. He had to get there and stuff. Everything was going good at home, so he's like, okay, it's time for me to go and stuff to Mecca and everything and do whatever he needed to do. And on his way there, he gave away his gold and stuff to people and everything. He spent and everything in Egypt and all of that kind of stuff. He did all of that. And then in return, he needed some money back to get for his return trip. And they was more than happy to help him. So that is to also say that when you give without any remorse, without any like, oh, I'm going to give you this and then I'm going to need this back in return. When you do that out of the kindness of your heart, you get back things tenfold for you. And look at what they did. He got more and more and made Mali much richer than what it was before. Because he did those good deeds and without any thought about it. Never give up on your dreams. Never stop working. Put out love and positivity to others. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Stop putting out hate. It's time for us to come together as a unit, as one, as a people. That's who we are. All right. I love y'all. Happy Kwanzaa. Kuji Chakulia.